Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at financial maths and some of the questions that can appear in our examination at the end of this year. It says calculate the interest rate from the compound interest formula. That's the first thing I want to try and show you very quickly. Now this question appeared in the November 2017 paper 1. And here we are required to calculate the interest rate from the compound interest formula. It says Mbali invested 10,000 Rand for 3 years at an interest rate of R% per annum, compounded monthly. At the end of this period, she received 12,146 Rand and 72 cents. Calculate R, correct one decimal place. So therefore, we are clear about what formula to use, the compound interest formula. That's very important. Always establish what formula you are required to use. So in this particular question, it says she invested. So she invested, so that's my p-value, 10,000 Rand for 3 years. So that's n is equal to 3. Interest rate, I is R%. Compounded monthly, the number of compounding periods, m is equal to 12. At the end of this period, she received 12,146.72 cents. So that's my final amount. Therefore, let's write down the formula that we are using. The compound interest formula is A equals to P into 1 plus I to N. And let's substitute all the values that we have. So 10,000 is my P value, or the initial amount invested. The final amount is A, which is 12,146 Rands and 72 cents. 1 plus, now they say R% compounded monthly, so that means the number of compounding periods is 12, so therefore it's going to be R over 12, and it's for 3 years, so your period is going to be 3 times 12, the number of compounding periods, which is the 36. So therefore we can now solve for R. So let's solve for R. So we're going to get 12,146 Rand and 72 cents over 10,000 Rands equals to 1 plus R over 12 to the 36. Now when you come to this point, what you want to do now is take the 36th root of both sides of your formula so that you can cancel this 36. So therefore you have 36. That will be 12,146 Rands and 72 cents over 10,000. And now you're left with 1 plus R over 12. So now what we're going to do is, as you can see, we are now going to solve for R. So looking at that, we'll say R over 12 is going to equals 2. So that's the root of 36. The 36th root of 12,146 Rands and 72 cents all over 10,000 minus 1. Therefore, now we can conclude if we cross multiply, R equals 2. So if we cross multiply, we're just going to take the 12 and multiply there. So it'll be 12 into the 36th root of 12,146 Rands and 72 cents all over 10,000 minus 1. So let us just make sure that the root is over all of the values that requires to be in our calculation. So let's put this in the calculator and let's see what we have. So we're going to say 12 into the 36th root of 12,146 Rands, 12,146 Rands and 72 cents all over 10,000. That's minus 1. Let's close the bracket. So let's double check. Minus 1 there, right? So don't forget that. Equals to 0,065. So that will be 0.065. Therefore, we can now conclude, to give it as a percentage, you have to multiply by 100 equals to 6.5%. So therefore, R is equals to 6.5%. Okay, learners, let's look at another question on calculation of interest. Now, the next question that I want to look at is calculating interest rate from the reducing balance depreciation formula. Question that I want to look at was from the November 2015 paper 1. It's question 7. It says here the graph F shows the book value of a vehicle X years after the time Joe bought it. The graph of G shows the cost price of a similar vehicle, of a similar new vehicle X years later. So let's look at the graph that's given to us. So in this question here, you can see that the value of the vehicle is 450,000 Rand. And they say that the graph of G shows the cost price of a similar new vehicle X years later. Okay, so this here, X years later, will be the cost of the new vehicle. Okay, and you can see that it's 4 years later, right? Then the next thing, because remember that the time is in years, so there's it 4 years later. They also tell us here that graph F shows the book value. Now the book value of vehicle X means that is the price of the value after it has been depreciated. So therefore, this particular value here, 243,736.90 Rand is the book value of the vehicle after it has depreciated 4 years. So let's see, what do they want us to calculate? How much did Joe pay for the vehicle? So that would be 450,000. So 7.1 will be 450,000 Rand. 7.2, use the reducing balance method to calculate the percentage of the annual interest rate of depreciation of the vehicle that Joe bought. So once again, the first thing that you have to establish is which formula to use. So it is clear here in this question that we are going to be using the reducing balance depreciation formula, which is A equals to P1 minus I to the power n. So let us now substitute into our formula. So we know now that this vehicle cost 450,000. So that's what was paid for the vehicle. It depreciated 2, so this is by P value, that's my A value. So it depreciated 243,736 rands, 736 rands and 90 cents. 1 minus I. So let's look at that now. So I'm required to find the interest or the rate of depreciation, and this happened over 4 years. So once again, as you can see, we are required here to solve for I, my interest. So let us now make I the subject of my equation. So that will be 243,736 rands and 90 cents all over 450,000 rands. 1 minus I to the 4. So what I'm going to do now is take the fourth root of both sides. So this will be the fourth root of 243,736 rands and 90 cents all over 450,000 rands. 1 minus I. Okay, so therefore now let's make I the subject of my equation. So if I move I to the left hand side, it becomes positive. 1 minus the fourth root of 243,736 rands and 90 cents all over 450,000 rands. So let us now put this in our calculator and let us solve for the interest rate. So it's 1 minus the fourth root of 243,736 rands and 90 cents all over 450,000 rands. 450,000 rands equals to So as we can see, we got 0.14211. 0.14211. So in order for us to get a percentage, now we have to multiply this by 100. So it's times 100 equals to 14.21%. That's equal to 14.21%. And that should be our rate of depreciation. Learners, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to JL Maths, or you can check out all the videos on jlmaths.com. And I'll catch you in the next video.